Hey guys, it's Ken with Pomeranian Whole Health. It's going to be our first workout. So I want to talk to you guys about the tier system. So the way the tiers are broken, if you're in tier 1, you've told us basically that you're not working out a whole lot right now, or you don't have a lifestyle that's leading you to be very active. So that's tier 1. And when we start those workouts, guys, I need you to be smart about how you do this. I want you to work out. I want you to get something out of it, but I also want you to be very smart about the level of intensity that you start off with. There's no sense in going super hard in any of these workouts for the first 10 days or so. You're just gonna make yourself super sore. You're much more likely to hurt yourself because you don't understand what your threshold is. Some of these things are gonna look and seem simple to you until you're too far into them and you realize you've pushed too hard. So tier 1, guys, it's about moving, it's about being active, it's about being smart about the choices we make, okay? Tier 2, those are people who have identified themselves as they've been working out, doing a little something, but life gets in the way, they're not super consistent, they're kind of, I sort of do this, I kind of do that. So your version of the workout is gonna be slightly more intense, but it's still scaled a little bit. If you watch the video that we put out today, I ask you guys, give me a week, give me 10 days of doing the tier that I ask you to be in the way I ask you to do it. If then you come to me and you say, hey, this isn't hard enough, I'm not doing enough, or hey, this is a little too much for me, then we can change where we're at. But give me your best effort for 10 days. So tier 2, you're gonna ramp up the intensity just a little bit from tier 1. There are gonna be some things though that if you're capable of, the scales may be a little simple for you. If it's a matter of just stepping up from the scale a little bit, that may be the right answer, okay? Tier 3, those are people that have identified themselves as they've been super active, they're very consistent with their workouts, it's a big part of their life. For this first about 10 days, it's literally just about moving, and then the workouts for the tier 3 people are gonna become much more personalized because a lot of you identified that there are specific things that you're trying to reach and do. Your workout is gonna be much more difficult. That doesn't mean though that what is written down is the expectation of this is the only way you can do it. If there's something within the workout that you cannot do, that's fine. Scale it down, try to maintain the intensity level of everything else. Based on what you've told me about your activity and your fitness, you're gonna need that to do that. Hey guys, so all of our workouts are gonna start with a warm-up and then what we call mobility. So the warm-up is generally geared directly towards the workout. So we're trying to warm up the specific muscle groups and movements, but because of the type of workout you're doing today, it's a walk, a jog, or a jog with some stuff thrown in depending on what your tier you're in. I'm not gonna demo that for you, but I am gonna go through all of the mobility. So for our first movement in the mobility, it's gonna be what's called a stand and reach. You're simply gonna stand with your feet underneath your hips, stand up, nice tall posture, shoulders pulled back. One arm's gonna go up and you're gonna reach across and you're trying to actively reach the other hand down like you're reaching towards your calf. You're gonna hold that for about 45 seconds. Come out of that nice and slow, and you do the same thing on the other side, okay? Just making your thoracic spine move a little bit, making your body move a little bit, opening up your lat and your tricep some with that movement, okay? That's the first one. Like I said, about 45 seconds aside. Then we're gonna move on to a movement that we call a shoulder opener number 3. So if you'll follow me over here to the wall, so in a standing position, we're gonna put our hands on the wall about shoulder height, about shoulder width apart, nice locked out long elbows. And if you can see, I'm leaning into the wall just a little bit, okay? So what I wanna do is drive my butt back and my chest down. I have a soft knee, but I'm not bending it. I'm not trying to squat or anything like that. I'm actively trying to push my chest down towards the ground, but I'm also turning my hips like I'm trying to point them towards the sky. I don't wanna give away my lower spine. I want to press into the wall and hold this. Once again, that's something you're going to hold for about 45 seconds. If you find that you're super duper tight in that position, you may be better off to either A, do that kind of often on your own, or B, add a little bit of time to it, okay? 90 seconds, 2 minutes, none of that's going to hurt you. It's going to be beneficial in the long run, and especially if you sit in a seated position for long days, that's super helpful. All right guys, so the next thing we're going to talk about is a movement that's called single leg flexion. We also do another version of it that's called a step lunge. So if you haven't been working out a lot, or you're not super mobile, you're unsure, if you're unsteady on your feet, a step version would simply be just finding a low step, like any step in your house, And if you just put your foot on it and just kind of lean into that a little bit, that would be exactly what I'm looking for. And that's what we would call a step lunge, okay? Now, if you wanted to turn and kind of reach towards the sky, add some stuff to it, you can be as imaginative as you want, but what you're trying to do is get a stretch in the hamstring, and if you can, a little bit in the front of the quad. Now, the actual single leg flexion looks a little bit more like this. From a standing position, I'm gonna take a long stride into a lunge, and then I'm gonna reach down to the ground and really kind of press that front hip down. I'm really pressing out on this knee, trying to keep this foot stable. I can add those turns towards the sky. I can really open some things up, okay? Once again, the limit of your imagination is what kind of stretch you can get out of that. That one's a fantastic one. I think everyone should be doing that stretch every day. For the people that are starting off with a step lunge, the goal is to get you to a single leg flexion, okay? But once again, if you don't feel super stable, or you're worried about getting off the ground or something like that, no big deal. Find something that's low that you can do it with. Even if you just have to do a simple straddle and kind of press into that leg a little bit, and that gives you a little bit of a stretch, that's perfect, okay? It's exactly what we're looking for. All right, guys, the last thing that we're gonna work on today is called a seated straddle. There are a couple different ways. It's basically a groin stretch. So if I just sat down to the ground and just open my legs up, okay? So I can either just sit here and kind of reach out. I could have an implement in front of me, a small ball, a footstool, anything that you can kind of lean forward on. And what you're gonna feel is a lot of tension build up in the inside of that groin, inside of your legs, okay? The goal is to eventually get your legs wider and wider and your chest lower and lower. Another version of this though, depending on, once again, how mobile are you? How comfortable are you being on the ground? If you just simply drive your knees out, tuck your feet in a little bit, and kind of press forward into that, you really start opening up your hips. You can push left and right in that. That'll start helping if you do a lot of sitting. It's a good place to start opening up those hips, getting things a little bit more mobile. Once again, we're going for about 45 seconds to a minute. If that's something that's super uncomfortable for you, you should spend some time in it. All right, guys, so we're done with the warm-up and the mobility. We're gonna go into the workout. I'm gonna talk about each individual portion of the workout as we go. Like I said, in the tiers, everyone's gonna have their own level of the things we're doing. So the workout is 20 minutes long. I know that sounds super daunting for some of you. Don't worry about it. It's a matter of you managing your intensity and your output. I just need you to move, okay? So the first part of the workout, if you're in tier 1, it's a 20-minute workout. For the first 2 minutes of that, I need you to walk for 2 minutes, and then you're gonna do some other stuff. If you're in tier 2, you're gonna jog, walk, run, whatever you're most comfortable with. Just push a little bit for me. If you're in tier 3, I'm expecting you to run at about a 75% perceived effort, okay? You're pushing a little bit of effort for that 2 minutes, okay? The next movement is a push-up, okay? For everyone, it's 10 of these. But so if you're in tier 1, I'm gonna have you doing a wall push, okay? That looks a lot like I'm leaning on a wall and I'm simply just gonna lower my elbows into it and press away. If I wanna make it a little bit harder, I get a little bit further away. If I wanna make it a little bit easier, I get a little bit closer. But it's just a pressing movement, okay? I'm just moving a portion of my body weight because I'm leaning into the wall, okay? It's 10 reps of that. If you're in tier 2, we're looking for a push-up, just a standard strict push-up, okay? My hands are gonna be underneath my shoulders, not wide, not out here, okay? All the way to the ground, all the way up. So let's say I get into this workout and I've done multiple rounds of this, or I don't have a lot of strict push-ups. There's a way to scale a push-up we call a snake push-up, okay? A lot of people say, well, just go to your knees and do girl push-ups. They don't work. It's a road to nowhere. You'll do those forever. With a snake, you're moving the same load, the same distance, so you're doing the same work, and you're giving yourself an opportunity to do a negative to build strength. So in a snake push-up, I'm on the ground, I'm gonna press my chest up, and then pop to a plank, and then I'm going to lower myself with my elbows to where my chest is the first thing it touches. What I've done there is, like I said, I've moved the same weight, the same distance. I've just segmented the movement to where it's a little bit easier to do. And then I've given myself the opportunity for that negative. The push-up like that is what I would expect tier 2 and tier 3 to do. The wall pushes I showed is what I would expect tier 1 to do. All right, guys, so the next movement that we're gonna do is for tier 1, it's gonna be a row. And whether that's a door jamb row or a row off of a doorway like I'm getting ready to show you. So this is a way to scale this movement. You're gonna take a sheet or a blanket, a towel, anything like that. You're gonna tie a relatively large overhand knot in it. So I'm doing a double overhand. There's 2 of them. Make that nice and tight. I'm simply gonna throw that over the door jamb, close it. If you can, I would highly suggest that you secure the door. Before you put any weight on it, test it. So right now I'm pulling out all the slack out of that. So at that point, I can put my hands in it, I can lean back, and I can row it. Some other options that we have for that, you just follow me over here. So like, let's say that seemed a little uncomfortable to you, or you just that's not something you're gonna do. Right on. Another way you do, imagine this is a door jamb. I'm standing in a door jamb. I'm gonna put my feet near the door jamb. I'm gonna grab the casing of the door and just simply lean back and pull myself in. If it's a door like into a hallway or a closet or something like that, you should actually be able to move your feet a little bit past the jamb. At that point, you can get lower and you're getting a deeper pull, okay? So you're doing more work. What we're working on here is our lats and our biceps. So that's what I would expect for the tier 1 people, okay? Tier 2 people, you can do some version of this. If you have capability to do a ring row, simply lowering yourself to where you're getting, once again, a deeper pull. I can manage how hard the pull is by simply moving my feet a little bit. That's what I would expect for tier 1 or tier 2. Choose what is ever right for you. I don't know how strong you are. Tier 3, you guys have been telling me that you're working out, you're doing all sorts of stuff. If you have access to a cable pulley and you can't do strict pull-ups, a cable pulley would be a great option. Honestly, that'd be a great option for any of the tiers. But then tier 3, if you guys have it available, a standard pull-up. So I'm gonna hang, full hang, chin over the bar, all the way up. So for the push-ups and the pull-ups, it's 10 of each of those. So another option for a pull-up, guys, if you have a band, any kind of resistance band like this, you put it around your feet. You can either sit and pull, same kind of thing, I'm rowing. I can do this in a standing position, slightly bent over. If you have a band that's too big and it's too strong for you, just simply take one portion of it and just manage it that way, or you can simply slide your hands back to where it has less tension. Any way you can find to do this stuff, guys. I've been to the workout facility that the hospital has. I've been to the auditorium and I know what equipment is in there. I just don't know what kind of access you guys have. So as we go through this, there's gonna be times that you're gonna see a workout for the next day that maybe you don't have everything you need. I need to know that, okay? Hey guys, for the last element of the workout, we're gonna be doing either a box step up or we're gonna be doing a box jump. So there are lots of different ways to do this. If you have access to an actual plyo box, that's fantastic. If you don't, stairs work great. If you're walking out of the auditorium, the little ledge right there, not the one that leads down to the seated area, but the one that's on ground level, that's the one I would use. That's fine, it's about 12 inches or so. Don't use chairs. They're too tall, they're too unstable. It's a bad idea. Don't use anything that moves. But when we're looking for a box step up, it's simply, I'm gonna put my foot on it and stand all the way tall, and then I'm going to step down, and the next time I step up, I'm gonna alternate those feet, okay? Now, if I'm doing a box jump, I wanna look where I wanna land, because I want my brain to do the math problem of how high this box is. So I want to look where I want to land. I want to reach back with my arms, reach down with my chest, because I want to create a lot of momentum up on the jump. And I'm going to step down. Guys, we're not jumping down. There's zero benefit to that. It's super dangerous. It's a competition move that serves zero purpose for what we're doing here, okay? Don't do it. It's unsafe. But once again, I'm going to look where I want to land. Guys, I weigh 240 pounds. I want you to listen to how softly I land on this. I'm not stomping down. I'm letting gravity do the work. There's zero benefit to me smashing my feet down and looking for this box. All I'm doing is shock waving my ankles, my knees, my feet. Everything in your body hates that, okay? So those are the elements to the workout. It'll be in the description in the group. The last thing you're gonna do is the cool down, okay guys? For the cool down, all you're gonna do is repeat the stretches you did in the mobility. A lot of you are gonna be super duper sore after this workout, okay? I know it doesn't seem like a lot. It is. Drink a lot of water, be active. Don't go do this workout and then go sit in a chair for hours, okay? That is not your friend. It will hurt you. You'll be miserable for days. If you are sore the next day, that does not mean, oh, I'm sore, I should take a day off. No, that means you should be active and move. The systems in your body that remove soreness and move waste, they're all passive. They require muscle to flex in order to make them work, okay? If you think about all of your venous systems and all of your passive systems that move waste, they need you to flex muscles to get rid of that waste. So don't sit, don't relax, go for a walk, go for a bike ride, take your dog for a walk, whatever it is.